Hi everybody, welcome to Think Woodworks. I've got a really fun project planned for you today. We're going to build a jointer. But first, Steve and I have got some pretty exciting news, and Steve's going to tell you about it.
Starting the first Sunday of every month, we're going to do live demonstrations here in the shop. Initially, we're going to have a videotape so you guys can all catch it. Hopefully soon, we're going to be able to stream these on the web.
Yeah, so we'll be able to do live web seminars, which will be fun, but that's going to take us a couple of months to get set up. So we're going to start by doing a demonstration on turning on your table saw, and I don't mean turning the switch on, I mean wood turning on the table saw. So it'll be fun, and details for that are going to be on my website, they'll be on my Facebook page, and also we've started a new Facebook page called the Charleston's Artisan Group, where we invite everybody, and I'll put links below, to come and post their work. If you have wares to sell, post it. If you have a project that you're proud of, post it. We want to see what you're doing. So all those links will be below. And Steve's going to be on there too, so you can see his Facebook page. Afro circus, polka dot, polka dot, polka dot. Some fun stuff happening here. I'm really excited to have the live meetings here, so we really look forward to seeing who turns out for those, and we're going to discuss a lot more fun stuff. Today we're going to build a jointer, out of a router. This is a project that Robert Smith posted on my Facebook page a while back, and I really love this project. It was really cool, and I thought this would be a great video project, especially for people out there who don't have a jointer or don't have a router table. If you have a router table, you can kind of do the same thing. Even if you have a router table and you just want an auxiliary system set up somewhere that's small, it's out of the way, this is a perfect project. And it's easy. So we're going to do a step-by-step project on how to make your own jointer, and we're going to get started right now. Okay, to get started, I have a piece of MDF that's 20 inches tall and 30 inches long, and I'm just going to rip a 7.5 inch length of it off one side. Okay, so now what I need to do is take this 7.5 inch piece and mount it 4 inches in from what will be the front, but I need to make sure this is a perfect 90-degree angle. So I've taken a piece of scrap that's roughly 5 inches wide, and I know it's at a perfect 90-degree angle, and I'm going to use that to cut some braces. So I'm just going to set it in there, mark the top, and I'll run it over to the bandsaw and cut out some braces. Okay, just sanded off that rough edge on both of these pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and use my round over with my trim bit, or my trim router, just because I want this to have a nice look when it's finished. Okay, I'm just going to let that set up for a few minutes, and then I'm going to glue the base on. I've just put these in roughly 4 or 5 inches. It's not super important. But now what I need to do is line this base up. So I'm going to come in 4 inches from the bottom on both sides, and then I'll mark that with a line and then run my glue on it. All right, before this sets up, what I want to do is make sure everything is nice and square and straight. So I've just checked my alignment front and back, and that looks good. And now I need to make sure that this line right here, what will eventually be the fence that we write our piece down, is nice and straight. So just grab a straight edge and check that, and that looks pretty darn good. Alright, now that I've got the body of this thing done, this is what's going to hold the router at the end. I need to create the bed that it's going to slide on. So I've just laminated 3 pieces of MDF, and it's just about 4 3/8 tall. The height is not super important, just making sure you have enough of a fence up here for your piece to ride on. So what I've done is just set it up here. I'm going to cut off this excess amount on this end, and then I'm going to cut it in half with a 15-degree back bevel going each direction. And I want to leave about 3/4 of an inch or so in here for the bit. Okay, by now this is probably starting to make sense. What I've got here is two beds with my back plate right here, and I need to, my feed direction is going to be from this direction. So what I need to do is take a 1/16 of an inch or so off of this piece so it's just below this, and then my router bit's going to come out right here. That is perfect. So now what I need to do is drill a hole in here for the router to mount in, and I'm just going to mark the center just below those two lines, and I'm going to drill an oversized hole for the router bit. Now because I'm using MDF, if I were to go right straight through, I'm going to blow the back of that out. So I'm just going to use a bit. That's going to give me the center, then I'll flip it over, put my Fastener bit back in, and drill the rest from the other side. That way I don't get a bad blowout. Alright, I put a coat of clear lacquer on here just to kind of protect it. It is MDF and it'll wear out quickly, so what I'm going to end up doing is putting a couple coats on by the time it's said and done. But to get started, I put one coat on, and I drilled 4 holes in this backer board to attach these. I'm not going to glue these on in case I want to replace them in the future, and I just made sure I was down at least an inch from the top of where this bed is going to be, so I don't, MDF is MDF. If you drill a hole too close to the edge, it's going to blow out. So I'm going to mount those in place, and I'm going to put another couple coats on here, and then we'll get the router mounted and we'll be done. Alright, put several coats of lacquer on here. Once that was done, I sanded this out, put a coat of furniture wax on so everything will slide across here nice. And then I've got my router, and I've just taken the plate off, and I put a 2-inch flush trim bit in here, and just put one screw in. I got this pretty close to where it needs to be. Just put one screw in here, so now I can adjust it for height. Now, because the router turns the opposite direction, the feed is actually from the opposite direction on the jig itself. It doesn't from left to right, I guess, or from right to left on a typical planer. On this, it's going to be the opposite direction. So now what I need to do is just adjust this bit so it's flush with the top of this. And to do that, I'm just going to use a straight edge, move it up until it's flush, put it in, hold it in position, and run a screw in. Now I'm going to check to make sure it's square, and that's pretty good. Actually, that's dead nuts. That's right on. Okay, so now if I needed to move that one way or the other, I could just put a small shim if it wasn't exactly right. This one turned out to be. This thing is working amazing. I'm really, really impressed with the way this turned out. If you don't have a joiner, this is a viable option. If you've got a router table, you can do the same thing with this, only on its side. So, I mean, that's an option as well. But if you don't or don't have the room for one, this doesn't take up any space. It's super light, so you can put it away at any time. And it's not that hard to set the router up. If you just take your time the first time and do it right, the next time's going to be easy. So, really cool option. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you check out those links in the description box. We've got lots and lots of fun stuff coming up here. We're going to be doing live events like we talked about earlier, and more information on that below as well. Thanks for watching.